Side note, my neighbor yesterday came over to the house and helped a lot with some things. There was some water in our garage, and he spent the whole day fixing that. So the Minnesota neighbors continue to make a meaningful difference. But got the Lions this week. Very tough place to play. They've always provided great energy there with the noise, and Lions are playing as good a football as any right now. When you watch the tape, how fast they're playing, the success they're having, and it's going to be a great test for us. And they obviously gave us all we could handle last time we played them. So, it's going to be a good challenge. Take any questions you have.
How bad was the water damage?
Well, it was pooling in the garage, and so obviously my first call is my neighbor. I'm like, "What's going on?" And so he got it all cleared up and figured it out. And someone who had installed the new washer didn't do it right, and so he made sure it was done right. So I would, like, if I ever wanted to move, maybe upgrade, maybe come closer to the facility, whatever. I really can't, because I'd have to be buying him a house too and move him with me. So I joke about moving over to Sunfish Lake, being closer to work, bigger plot of land, and I'm like, yeah, but I can't bring him with me, so I really can't move. I'm stuck there. So, but it's good.
Next contract.
Yeah, right.
Does this feel like a homecoming game going to Detroit?
Yeah, it's difficult to articulate because Detroit is 3 hours from where I grew up. It's not next door. KJ's from Ypsilanti, much closer to Detroit. But for whatever reason, it does feel that way. It always has. And maybe it's the Michigan State thing, I don't know. But it's always felt that way, and there are a lot of people from my hometown that'll make the drive over and go to the game. So for whatever reason, it does have that feel. I don't know. I know that I asked Carly here for as many sideline passes as she could possibly give me. And she said, how many? And I said, 15? And so we'll see what we can get.
Kirk, what's it like to play in close game after close game? I mean, fans have fan reactions. What's it like for a professional athlete to go through that stress on a weekly basis?
Well, it is life in the NFL. I mean, if you go back and look at seasons in the past, most games are coming down to the final minute, the final play. It seems like the oddball game is one that you're in the early fourth quarter and it's already decided. That just doesn't happen much in the NFL. College it did, high school it did. NFL's different. And so what's it like? It's a grind, man. I mean, it is a grind. And I remember when we didn't connect on that third down at the end of the half against the Jets. And I'm thinking to myself, just that one missed throw on a third down in the field goal range area, that could be why we lose the game. Because if you convert that, stay on the field, you either get a touchdown or you at least run the clock down such that the Jets can't go down and kick a field goal. Well, the Jets go down and kick a field goal because we gave them enough time to do that. That could be the reason you lose. So, one missed throw, one moment in the first quarter, second quarter, many times can be the difference. And I think that tension I feel on Wednesday at 12:30 with the way I prepare and the way I think about things, because that the difference is razor thin.
Kirk, there's sort of this idea, at least in the analytics community, that close games are random, that if you win some, you're going to lose a bunch later. You go through them every week. You've been through a lot of them the last couple of years. Is that true, or is there an element of close games, winning them, losing them, that you can repeat and make a sustained thing?
I don't know what's true or not true. Objectively, I feel that it's its own entity every time. And so I think it's hard to say, let's look back or let's look forward and create this picture. I view it as it's its own entity every time, and I don't have a lot that carries over from the previous one or carries forward. But, there's a belief that you can be battle tested and you can say we've been here before. But I'd also like to think, regardless of that, your preparation should enable you to say that with the way you practice and the way you work.
Kirk, does this feel like the opposite of where you guys were walking off the field in Detroit last year? That was kind of the epitome of finding ways to lose over and over, as opposed to this year.
I think we also won a lot of close games last year, but certainly the reason we weren't in the playoffs, you can point to several games where it was one play. And so, and really for 2020 as well, you leave that season feeling like, man, we're a player or two away from being in the playoffs instead of sitting at home on the couch. And so, this year it's been it's been much better to find those inches. But I don't have a great answer for why we suddenly have. But it's a key part of having success in this league, because it usually is an inch or two that's the difference in a win or loss.
Kirk, when Peyton Manning once actually lived in Minnesota when he was a kid, his dad was playing for the Vikings.
Yes.
And he says you're having a very good season. He's actually rooting for you to get to the Super Bowl. What do you think of that?
I didn't know that. Thanks, Chris, for passing that along through the grapevine. Obviously, a lot of respect for Peyton Manning. Just about everything he's done, he does well. I was just talking with Dennis Ryan, who's only worked here like 45 years, but Dennis said there was a time when it was Archie Manning and his three boys running around the locker room, and then Don Hasselbeck, who had Matt and Tim. So he said there was, 5 or 6 NFL future players who were under the age of 10 running around our locker room at one point, who combined played for like 50-plus years in the NFL. So it made me wonder, as I look at like Thielen's kids and some other guys' kids, like I wonder if that's possible down the road for other guys here. But utmost respect for Peyton. I remember walking through Woodfield Mall in Chicago when I was, 9 years old, 10 years old, and wanting a Colts Peyton Manning jersey for Christmas that you see in the Champ Sports there, just because that was the guy you watched going back to Tennessee and Indy. And I felt like the way I wanted to play the position, even middle school and high school, was like him, decisive, accurate, smart, trying to be a step ahead of the defense and on the details. And I always felt that was the way I wanted to play the position. So you always kind of watched him and observed him. And then you get in the game in 2013 and you're playing against him, and it's kind of a unique moment.
Thielen's production from a yardage standpoint is down what he's been earlier in his career. I guess what are some of the hidden ways that he continues to impact the offense that's invaluable from your eyes?
Yeah, well, the fact that at any moment he can impact the game, I think it helps us because there are moments where you say, if there was a big drop-off from Justin to our other receivers, then you would have great concern if a team takes Justin out of the game. This year there's been a comfort level that, hey, if a team wants to do that, we have so much confidence in KJ and Adam and TJ and Dalvin and in the pass game that we can, activate other guys. And so, and then you add the fact of what he does in the run game, blocking, his willingness to, put his shoulder in there and move people, and certainly his intelligence and his awareness, and then just his presence as a captain, as a leader. He's impacting the game, like you suggested, in more ways than just catching the football. But I also think he can help us a lot catching the football. So we'd love to get him those targets and get him those ops.
Kirk, what are your thoughts kind of on T.J. Hawkinson's first month and a half or so here? Do you still kind of pinch yourself being able to get a tight end of that caliber in the middle of the season?
Yeah, it's unique too. It's funny to watch the tape of our first game and see that he's on the opponent. It's unique, but he's done a great job for us, and we've got to keep using his skill set and putting it to work, and he'll continue to make a difference for us.
You went to him on your third snap of playing with him. You went to him for a third down. And I think you've gone to him since then more than anybody except Justin on third down. What is it about how he fits into that third down process?
He's certainly a great player, and I think his whether it's the fact he's just a friendly target, there's good size there. He's getting good matchups. He's been decisive with his route running. I also think some of it is just scheme and the way you kind of plan the third downs, and the coaches put it together with the reads and the way things are set up to many times the odds favor certain guys getting the football, and so in that case I think TJ's been showing up a lot.
Let's do one more.
Kirk, there's already been a few references this week to T-shirt and hat week. Just what would it mean to wrap up the division title this Sunday?
It would be everything to us. It's a great opportunity, and you have to go earn it. You don't want to back into anything. So we want to go earn it and win a football game and be able to do that. But we know that this game will be a 60-minute, maybe 60-plus minute game. That's going to take everything we have to get there.
When was your last T-shirt and hat game? I mean, when you guys clinched the wild card berth, do you have anything like that? Or
2015 in Washington for me. And at Philly, it was a great moment.
Thanks, Kirk.
All right, thank you.